We all know the nightmares of physicians taking insurance. There's dropping reimbursements, there is complex admin, there is a restriction on what you can provide the patients. Many doctors think cash pay is the holy grail, but there's actually other issues with that as well. See, many doctors don't realize that cash pay means they have to be responsible for all their lead flow. What do I mean by that? Well, as a physician, you're not trained in attracting patients. You're trained in treating patients. If you're not business savvy, marketing savvy, tech savvy, this is a new skill set that can really sabotage your efforts to really go cash pay. I've seen this happen time and time again. Someone goes cash pay, concierge, boutique, functional medicine, anti-aging, biohacking, you name it. They're trying to bring in people into their clinic, but they don't know how to do that. And eventually they resort to just high-paid agencies and ads, which are marginally effective. And they realize, oh, this model doesn't work, and they quit. When I had my clinic, the Vitology Institute, I loved it. I really enjoyed what I did. I mean, I had so much clinical success, but I spent so much time and I had a lot of stress because I always had to keep bringing new people in. The reason is, one, as a functional medicine doctor who reverses cardiac disease, you're sort of the victim of your own success. The moment I got people off their diabetic pills, off their statins, off their blood pressure medications, felt great. And they finished the program, they finished the package, and they moved on. And so I had to get another batch of people coming over and over again. So one of the things you want in these type of practices is you want recurring or reoccurring revenue. The second challenge was I had to spend so much energy and time on lead generation. So what does that look like? That means I had to do webinars every week. Otherwise, I couldn't get enough patients in. Number two, I had to do dinner seminars and things like that where I was able to share, the values of my clinic, how traditional medicine was not enough to get them to their goals, and how we had a solution that was unique and provide testimonials so they would say, hey, this makes sense. I will invest in my health. Remember, patients are very reluctant to do things outside of insurance. And so there's a threshold that you have to help people and patients get across. If I had to do it over again, I would not have just gone pure cash pay or boutique concierge. I would have done a hybrid model. This is what I've been coaching on for the last 5 years, and it's been highly successful, where you run an insurance-based model. And what happens with that is the insurance is the lead generation. You have an inundation of leads because there's usually a wait list because so many doctors are filled up. Number two, as a specialist, you're getting really qualified leads. And then when you bring them in, you treat them traditionally, but then give them options to come to your wellness side or your functional side or your concierge side or your membership model side. That's when they already know, like, and trust you, and they're ready to now up level into that other model. By doing a membership model, that's more powerful than packages, because packages, once the package is done, you have to resell again. But the membership model is annual subscription. And so you're going to have some churn, but with the annual subscription, you build this reoccurring revenue that's very powerful. And it converts your clinic from a liability into an asset, because now people can see this reoccurring revenue and they can bank on it, and they can include it when you're trying to get evaluations for your clinic to increase enterprise value or your valuation based on multiples. So one of my coaching clients added additional $500,000 to his family medicine practice by doing this exact same model. So what he did was, he has a family medicine clinic. He realized he had a passion. He wanted to do something different. He wanted to offer weight loss injections. He wanted to offer hormones and longevity strategies with peptides and things like that. And so what we suggested is, look, you have a built-in patient population of, 3,000, 5,000 patients. This is a place where you can harvest the best of those people and put them into your other side of your clinic, on your wellness side. And so he created this longevity anti-aging hormone clinic, and he started letting people know what he did. And the interesting thing was, he made it where it was very sticky. It was a subscription model, right? Once you're on the weight loss drugs, you keep going in general. Once you're on the hormones, that's usually lifelong. And even sort of the peptides and longevity, that's, longitudinal strategy. You can't just do it for 3 months and then quit, right? The effects wear off. So because of it being sticky, and because he had already a built-in warm population that knew him and liked him and trusted him, he started bringing them over. And now he's on track for $500,000 this year. And our goal is to get him to $1 million by December. And it's a very successful thing. So insurance on one side, cash on the other. And I want to give you another flavor of a way to do this. So I have another client who is doing a very specific niche program. He's helping people with osteoporosis create a bone strengthening program. And so what he did was he created a very low ticket offer that everyone says yes to. And once they get in, he up levels them once they feel comfortable into his higher ticket program. And so this two-tier program approach is another way to consider as you're going down the concierge boutique cash-based practice strategy. Physicians, we have a serve at heart. We really want to take care of our people. We don't want to come across salesy or needy or any of that. And I didn't either. I've enrolled people into my wellness clinic. Over $1 million of people into my wellness clinic. I've enrolled over $400 million of investors into all our real estate deals. We've enrolled people in 7 figures into our coaching programs. How am I able to do this without sounding salesy or needy or desperate or sleazy? And I think it's because you come from a service background. You come from a value. By you offering value first, you truly resonate with the person and you understand first versus trying to be understood, right? Look to understand the person. What are their needs? What are their wants? What are their desires? What are their pain points? And then you take them on a journey. And so I'm going to present a framework called the Closer Framework, which I learned from one of my mentors, Alex Ramosi. And in this framework, it allows you to essentially be yourself and create a compelling vision and an argument for why whatever you're selling or offering is maybe the right fit for them. So the first part of the Closer Framework, and this is an acronym, C stands for clarifying why they're on the call or why they're in front of you to talk. Like, what is their problem? What is their concern? What interested them? What marketing got them there? Was there word of mouth referral? Just figure out, what is it you're here for? The next letter is L. That means to label them with a problem. So figure out what their bleeding neck problem is. So someone comes to you, they can have a nicked leg, they could have a bruise on their left arm, but if their jugular is cut open and they're bleeding out profusely, that's a level 10 problem that we need to solve. That's called the bleeding neck problem. So find out what is their most painful problem or situation that needs to be solved immediately or that you can help them with fully. The next one is O. It's an overview of what they tried in the past. So this is essentially saying, hey, look, you're almost like a detective. You're like a diagnostician. You're like a physician. Hey, what is it you've tried? You've tried, let's say the problem is they are overpaying on taxes. Well, I tried to go to this tax consultant. I tried doing this tax strategy. I did this. And if none of it worked or it didn't work fully, find out why it didn't work. Find out everything they've tried. Find out what they liked about what they tried and what they didn't like. And that gives you ideas. It gives you ammunition. It gives you insights into their brain, their mindset, and their capabilities. The next letter is S. You want to sell them on the dream, right? Many physicians, we get into the bad habit of trying to sell benefits. People don't want to buy benefits. They want to buy the destination, right? Sell them Hawaii, not the, hey, you're going to go on a Boeing 747. There's upright seats. There's, peanuts midway through the flight. You're going to get a soft drink. You have beautiful views. No, they want to know, what does Maui look like? What does Hawaii look like? So describe in detail the destination that they are wanting to get to and say, man, yes, exactly. This is what it looks like. This is how we can get you there. This is how our program works to help you get there. E means explain away their concerns. So what that really means is, look, before someone's going to make a buying decision, they're always going to have some objections, some concerns. Some people call it swords on the table, right? These are things that they're using to protect themselves. And you want to understand, what's going on. A lot of times, hey, I need to run this by my spouse or my loved one. Great. Let's have them on the conversation. Hey, I want to know how much this costs. Great. We'll get there if it makes sense, right? Or you can show them the price. That's not a problem. But it's not about how much things cost. In general, they want to know if it can solve their problem, right? So really refocus their energies on that. The next thing is really, will this work for me? Hey, I've seen all your friends. I've seen your testimonials. I've seen your other coaching clients or your patients, but will this work for me? Right? These are sort of the common excuses, objections, concerns that people have. And so your goal is to address them even before they bring them up, perhaps, and make them feel comfortable as they move forward. The last one is reinforce the decision. So now that you've got them on board and they're ready to make the buying decision and they're ready to, move forward with you, you want to tell them, hey, look, that was a phenomenal decision you made. I'm proud of you. Most intelligent physicians do exactly what you just did, or most intelligent people do exactly what you just did. And here's what's going to happen. And so after people make a buying decision, there's a flurry of emotions. They're excited, they're scared, they're worried, they may get overwhelmed, and you just want to make the friction very low. And so this is one of the things I do in my companies, where once the sales team or whoever is enrolling them, or the investor relations team or whatever is getting them into our system, then we want to hand it off to the team that does the fulfillment, right? The people that get them onboarded. And so you want to have a seamless handoff. You want to have a onboarding sequence that makes sense. You want to tell them what to expect the next day, the next week, the next month. You want to make sure it's high touch, the whole thing, white glove service, high touch. And you want to get them to get value to them very quickly. Time to value has to be very short, because that reduces refunds, it reduces regret, and it makes them excited about moving forward. Guys, I want to really bring it home to you. So number one, if you have an insurance-based practice, I would suggest converting it into a hybrid model by adding cash pay and membership model to generate recurring revenue. So I recently had a phone call with a cardiologist, and he wanted to leave his current practice, which was insurance-based, and go and start a cash pay practice. I'm like, why would you do that? You already have a built-in plethora of patients who know, like, and trust you and are ready to go. I said, don't do that. And this also applies for people who are already as an employed model in a current practice, and they want to go out and start cash play or concierge or hybrid practice. Take advantage of the fact that insurance will provide all the leads you need, and add it on as a symbiotic relationship between insurance and cash. If you like more tips like this, go into the description and download a copy of my book for free. If you like videos like this, watch this one next.